Over the last years, I have shown you how I designed our rental to make it feel more like home, whether from a blank space or an existing room. In this video, I'll list out the whole design process I take step by step and also review all the free tools I use to help you get started. Before moving into our new apartment, we visited a couple of times just to take measurements of the space. If you're moving to a new place, this step is extremely helpful to decide what furniture to keep and what to sell. If you're already living there, this step is still helpful to determine what you want to shop for and for playing around with the layout later. Keep in mind that this step doesn't have to look nice at all. For us, we just printed out the floor plan that the landlord gave and roughly scribbled on the measurements. I also took some pictures with my phone whenever I needed to know where things like where the vent, sockets, or pipes were positioned. If you're newly moved in, a big tip I have is to live in the space for at least a month before buying anything new. Over the month, you'll naturally form habits and routines in using the space, and then you can determine what's working versus not working for you. For example, our dining table was the perfect size in our old apartment, but in this new apartment, it looked tiny in the open concept living area, and it was just not ideal for hosting. Another example is our washer tower. Functionally, they were great, but they were really killing the entire vibe of the primary bathroom, which was supposed to feel calm and serene. So as we realize what's not working for us in the space, we go on to step 3, which is to write a list of needs. Needs are the non-negotiable changes that you would like to make, and it can be in the form of a piece of furniture or a general idea. For example, to fix the tiny dining table, we would naturally upgrade to a larger one. For the washer tower, I just wrote down some kind of divider to block the ugly sides of the washer tower, to remind myself that I have to brainstorm solutions later on. If you already have a design style that you lean towards, that is a great starting point. For example, if you lean towards Japandi design, you want to focus on muted, earthy colors and functional pieces of furniture with clean lines and potentially in a natural wood finish. If you're instead like me and your home style is a mashed potato of styles, I highly recommend that you set up a Pinterest board and start saving stuff. After a few days or even weeks, you'll start to see patterns forming of what draws you and things that stand out to you. For example, this is the Pinterest board I had for our kitchen. From here, I realized that I was really drawn to wooden cabinets and off-white countertops. I also knew that I wanted to add just a little bit of color through the backsplash. And after having a general direction, we move on to step 5, shopping. Here comes the fun part, but potentially also the most overwhelming part. Personally, I like to first look at furniture online and then check it out in the store if it's possible. If you live in Germany, here is a list of places that I like to shop at. To help keep track of everything, I like to use Millernote, which is a free-to-use visual organization tool with a bunch of templates to choose from depending on your needs. For this, I like to start blank, and you can download the web clipper from the Chrome extension store, which will allow you to directly save images to your board. I like to make a list of potential furniture options that I can easily link back to, and I would also highly recommend giving access to your partner or any other household members to this board so that they can add comments. This is just a great and easy way to keep track of everyone's opinions. For this step, I would sometimes use a grid notebook. This one is from Muji, and draw a to-scale floor plan and furniture pieces. You can also make little cutouts so that you can move and play around with the layout. But what I'll usually do is take a picture of this floor plan and then drop it into Millernote and use the draw function to start sketching a potential layout. Rather than being really precise, this is a great way to brainstorm the different elements that go into the space and can also help you narrow down your shopping list. If you want to be really precise, you can try using Figma, which is actually a UX tool that I use at work. The free starter plan will most likely cover everything you need to draw a to-scale floor plan and room layout. There is no correct way to do a mood board, and if you look at my examples, they all look slightly different. Nowadays, I like to mostly use it to see if the pieces I've set my eye on will come together harmoniously. So what I do is I first bring the image into remove.bg to remove the background, and then bring it into my mood board on Milanote. I also try to include images that look similar to my flooring or wall color. To get inspiration on paint colors, you can also use the color feature on Milanote to get swatches that match your mood board. Milanote is free to use with no time limit. I'll pop in my link in the description so that you can sign up for free. And to talk a little bit more about paint, I've mentioned this before, but the 3 things I consider when picking a paint color are inspiration, size, and lighting. Take our primary bathroom for example. At the time, I was extremely drawn to bathrooms painted a rosy mauvey color and thought it would help to embrace the cozy size of the bathroom as well. To get the right shade of rose, I made many swatches and tested them with both natural and artificial lighting before landing on the perfect paint color. If you can't paint, don't worry. You can still add color to the room through textiles like your sofa cover, pillows, curtains, and even a rug. No matter your level of DIY experience, there are tons of budget-friendly ways to get creative. One of the easiest options is to give your existing furniture a refresh. Take our old bathroom for example. We already had storage solutions that worked for us, so it was just a matter of changing up the look. I spray painted the shiny chrome shelves matte black, stained the undersink cabinet, and swapped out the hardware for a more mid-century modern vibe. These easy changes made a huge difference and the space felt so much warmer and cozier. If you're a bit more confident with tools, try customizing some IKEA pieces. You can turn a Besta drawer into a built-in nook, or transform a Moppet organizer into a cute little nightstand. I actually put together a full video with 10 of my favorite IKEA hacks, complete with materials and step-by-step instructions. And for the seasoned DIYers out there, why not build something from scratch? I fell in love with these vintage-inspired sink vanities, but the price tags were out of reach, so I made my own for a fraction of the cost. And remember that ugly washer tower I mentioned at the start of the video? I built a divider inspired by outdoor fencing, and it completely changed the look and feel of our primary bathroom. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I always build a DIY task board on Milanote to keep track of my progress. I list the measurements of the space, pop in some rough sketches, my material list to bring to the hardware store, building steps, and even reference videos. Having everything all in one place just makes the whole process go much smoother and feel less overwhelming. And finally, we arrive at step 10, the finishing touches. You can make the space look tidier with some cable management, whether through cable channels on the walls or mounted extension cords. Accent lighting adds a cozy ambience to the room while being a key decorative element. Add plants that match the lighting conditions of the room to add a decorative element without adding on to the visual clutter. Textiles like rugs, curtains, and pillows add a lot of texture and color to the space. Displaying your favorite artwork and knickknacks describe your personality and tell a story. These finishing touches are what's going to make the space feel like home.